Kochie's Business Builders is proudly brought to you by our partners Peugeot and Zella, who are helping small businesses grow.
Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, we have a master plan for a fashion label in need of better sales. Restaurant owner Michelle Grand-Milkovic explains why all you need is love and fish. And Paul Zahra's retail secrets to succeed. G'day and welcome to another great episode of Kochie's Business Builders, where we take a look at the issues facing small business owners and come up with practical advice and tips to help them succeed. Joining me today as co-host is Taryn Williams, the founder and chief executive behind Wink Models, The Right Fit, the influencer agency, and Hash Gifted. If you've seen an influencer marketing or brand campaign on social channels, chances are it features one of the talented creatives or influencers available via one of Taryn's businesses. Taryn, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Tell us how you started the business.
Look, I've always been in the talent space as a model myself first, and then I started Wink Models when I was 21, so a long time ago now. And then I could see the industry was really ripe for disruption. There was this shift towards always-on social channels that brands needed to fill with content, and this move towards more and more digital ad campaigns being executed. And the real traditional talent agencies weren't really designed for that kind of campaign. So I launched The Right Fit, which is a two-sided marketplace. So think of it very much like an Airtasker or an Upwork or an Uber, but for top-tier, fully vetted creative talent. Yeah. So we connect brands and advertising agencies with all different kinds of creative talent, so photographers and models and actors and influencers.
Can't wait to pick your brains throughout the show. First up, though, we're going to take a look at a business that needs some help. NTTC Australia is a mum and daughter fashion label that's getting great press, but not great sales. So, Taryn, they made a splash in fashion magazines, invited to runway shows, but it hasn't translated into converting to sales. How do they capitalise on that goodwill? That's the big thing, isn't it?
That's exactly right, and that's the challenge, especially for a lot of small businesses that maybe don't understand some of their customer segmentation or how to track what's performing well in their marketing funnels. So I think first and foremost, working out who their target customer is, having a really clear idea of that customer persona.
Yeah, that is such great advice. More to come from Taryn, but we've also teamed up Camilla and Maria with Sheridan Green to help them grow their business.
Welcome to our home studio.
Thank you. Yes, show me around.
So here we do all of our work, all of our sewing. So this is our embroidery machine here.
So many machines.
Yeah, our overlock, they all have different strengths. Here we have our ribbons and lace.
Yeah, beautiful.
All of our antique buttons, mother of pearl,
and we have old machine from families.
Wow, yeah, tell me about that.
It's from 1929.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah. Passed down to the family.
From family, like.
Okay, do you still use that?
Yes. And come on through to our office area. This is where we greet our customers and we show them our previous designs. And these are all the magazines that we've been published in.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Have a look. All of our designs are in here.
Beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to see them.
And through here we have our fabric room, and we use it as a fitting room as well for our
and
designs.
this is where all your designs.
Yes.
Ah, wow. So this is all the stock.
Yes.
Right.
How long have you had all these for?
Oh, I collect over 20 years.
Wow. So you really need the customer to come in and to see and feel everything.
Yeah.
To understand
That's
the level
right.
of detail of what you're doing. Tell me a bit about your business and how did you get started together?
I sew all my life and always like have a dream to have a business.
Yeah, well, so I have a background in theatre. I used to work in costume and set.
Okay, that makes sense.
Officially, 2017 is when we launched our business.
Okay.
We started with a millilingerie collection, and then we kind of just rolled on from there with a fashion line.
So, ladies, between the two of you, who does what? Does one of you sew, one of you design, or do you do a bit of both?
I'm design my design, she design her design.
Okay.
Sometimes we draw,
very
sometimes we
collaborative.
just talk. And sometimes we put together our design.
Mum's more of the expert in the sewing area.
And she like more
I do like the
hand stitches.
Hand details like
beautiful.
embroidery and that kind of thing.
She is needle very good.
Okay.
If this
Very handcrafted and very luxe. Is that right? And so who are your typical customers?
It's usually someone who wants something different that you can't get off the rack, you know, that wants to stand out in the crowd.
So very bespoke.
We say it's like an investment. Our designs you can wear over and over again or restyle them. We always try to make it, because we're sustainable, we always try to make it that you can keep it for a long period of time, you know.
What's the process? How long does it take? So a customer will come in, they might have a wedding in a few weeks.
This depends.
It really depends on the customer and what they're after. We always ask them, what's your time frame, what's your budget?
We try to fit customer in budget too.
Yeah.
Because we have lots of materials.
Okay, and then how many fittings would the customer come in for?
Oh, again, it would
like 3.
Yeah.
Minimum,
3 fittings,
yeah.
wow, okay. So it's very intensive, a lot of time is spent. So how many hours a week do you think you're spending in the business?
Oh, sometimes we stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning.
So you're spending a lot of time in the business. You're doing it at the moment for the love of it.
Yep.
But you're probably not reaping the rewards from it that you should be financially. Let's put together a plan to work out how we can make it more sustainable for you. Obviously, you love what you're doing. You're very passionate. And we just, we want to turn this into something awesome.
Happy to do it.
Welcome back to Kochie's Business Builders with my co-host, Taryn Williams, this episode. And boy, has Taryn got some great advice for you, because a recent report by Accenture found social selling your products via social media is expected to grow 3 times as fast as traditional e-commerce over the next 3 years, expected to generate $1.2 trillion in sales by 2025. Now, this trend is being driven by Gen Z and millennial social media users, who account for 62% of global social sales. Plus, 2/3 of social media users say they've made a purchase on social in the past 12 months. Now, Taryn, a lot of businesses have only just wrapped their head around e-commerce. Now we're talking about social selling. How hard is it to set them up with products to sell on social?
So if we're thinking about finding the right influencer for your brand and how to set them up for social selling, think about who would be that key opinion leader, that trusted voice of authority, if you were trying to find the right person to speak to your brand. So then you can just simply sit down and go, okay, who is that key advocate? How would I find the right person for my brand? And it might be someone really niche, like a vegan mummy food blogger on the northern beaches if you're a vegan food cafe there. Or it might be someone more macro with a bigger media profile. But once you find that person, it's just about empowering them with the tools for success. What these influencers are, they're like little mini media production houses. So trust that they're experts in the space. Go to them with a brief and say, look, this is a bit about our brand. These are our values. This is the product that we're trying to sell. Could you give us some advice and recommendations on how you think you could sell this product for us on our behalf?
Right. Where do you find them? And there are a lot, aren't there?
There's lots of different platforms. Obviously, I would say The Right Fit and Hash Gifted are great places to find social media influencers. And then it's about working out, looking at the really important things. So where are their audience based? So for example, if you're an Australian brand that only sells in Australia, you'd want to be making sure that not only is your influencer based in Australia, but their audience is based in Australia. Then looking at their age and gender breakdowns, their follower growth over time, and what sort of content they've made in the past and brands they've worked with in the past, because you don't want to engage with someone who's potentially just worked with a competitor business, so that wouldn't feel very authentic for your brand.
Give me, out of your experience, an example of a small business that's used the right influencer and the results that both have got.
Oh, there's some fantastic examples. So we work with some beauty brands who have done phenomenal campaigns in this space. So what they've done is they've found people who really speak to the different core demographics of their products. So they have a number of different products that appeal to a more mature audience. And for that campaign, they executed on Facebook because they knew that target audience wasn't as active on Instagram and on TikTok. So they created a Facebook campaign that really spoke to that audience, that showcased not just the visual, drivers of the product, but also had long-form content to go with that. Then on TikTok, they knew that they were trying to reach a new audience, a much younger audience that wanted a different type of content. So with those influencers, they engaged them to make much more fun, engaging, young, dynamic kind of content that appealed to a very different subset. And what they were looking for was not only top-tier content to be created that they could use for retargeting campaigns, but of course they were looking for conversions. So they were looking for the call to action to be to come to the website, to look at a particular product, Then they gave each of those influencers a coupon code that they could track over time. So they could actually measure how many of those influencers drove sales.
Taryn, thank you for that. Great advice. Now, stay with us. If you're having issues with understanding the best method to engage with clients online, Tracy Sheen has some tips for small business owners.
Today, I want to share with you a little software app called Loom. Now, it's basically screen capture software, so there are other options available. I use it a lot with clients when we're walking through solutions or we're walking through opportunities in their business. So, for example, if someone's getting a website built and the web developer wants to know what they're happy with or what they're not happy with in the site, you can literally have the website open on your laptop, hit screen record, and then talk to what it is that you want changed. The other thing you can do, of course, is record little clips of yourself to send to clients. So if you onboard a new client, how cool would it be to just send them a little video and go, hey, Tracy, the digital guide here. The point is, just start thinking about how you could maybe use Loom or some screen capture software in your business to maybe interact with your suppliers a little better or to engage the clients that you already have.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm co-founder of Lovefish at beautiful Barangaroo in Sydney. Lovefish is an Australian seafood restaurant, which is now in its 12th year, and we still remain sort of true to our founding concept, which is to offer the quality of Australian seafood as an everyday experience for everyday Australians. My husband and I have been in hospitality for as long as we can remember. When we founded Lovefish, we had really young children. It was really important to us to start a business that really focused on leaving a lighter footprint as possible. For us, one of our core values was ensuring that we use local produce and really address the waste that came back from my restaurant. The hospitality industry in general is quite a high waste industry. So for us, it's really twofold. It's how we source our produce, the transparency in how we present that to the customer, and then what we do with our waste within the restaurant cycle. I think anytime you're running a 7-day-a-week operation, it's just an endless cycle of juggling family and staff and deliveries and bookings. It was such a big leap, coming from a 50-seat restaurant to 175 seats, I think, in such a predominant harbour side area. For us, it was really important to keep the small family values that we had from our first restaurant, but bring them on a much larger scale. So we look for the same qualities that I think we have in ourselves, in our staff, and at the same time also look for skills that maybe we're slightly lacking in to help increase the skill set of the whole team. I think the biggest thing, or the biggest challenge I think about COVID was it was quite a diminishing experience. Before COVID hit, we were running a tremendously successful and booming business, and then all of a sudden you had to make your world very, very small to be able to survive this period. And then you work your way through, and then we reopened and you have to make your world big again. So I think surviving and growing are two such different skill sets that was certainly challenging at times. We've really made full use of our American Express Platinum business card in recent times, particularly for cash flow. It allows you to make purchases and also to pay suppliers. And I found in these uncertain times when we're not sure what our revenue is going to be, that was a great comfort and really helped us out. The American Express Platinum business card has a fantastic membership reward system. So every time we make a purchase, we accumulate points. I think it's 2.25 per dollar spent. And then we use those for either purchases for our business, rewards card that we might give as staff incentives, and of course you can also use them for travel. The future of Lovefish is looking really bright. I think that there's nothing quite like sharing a seafood platter, celebrating Australian produce, overlooking Sydney Harbour with the Sydney sunshine.
Hi, I'm Paul Zahra, CEO of the Australian Retailers Association. What we're seeing from consumers globally, and particularly in Australia, is they're becoming much more purpose-led and values-driven. So what they want to know from their brands is what is their policies around diversity, equality, inclusion? What are their policies around sustainability and climate change? These are really important today and will be much more important in the future as consumers decide how and when they shop. The best advice that I can give all business, but particularly small business, is around having a strong, dedicated focus on data and digital. This is imperative to be successful, but also to be able to continue operations, given that we've had such a level of disruption over the last couple of years. Consumers have spoken, and what they are looking for is the best of online experiences delivered in store, but equally the best in-store experiences delivered online. So becoming an omni-channel retailer, being able to offer that seamless customer experience is the only way for future success.
We're back to see how business strategist Sheridan Green can assist Tamila and Maria at MTTC Australia.
So ladies, you've shown me your studio. I've seen your designs, they're beautiful. I guess with your business now, let's have a chat about, I guess, where we want to take it and what you want to do with it. I mean, what is the ultimate dream with the business?
The ultimate dream would be to have a boutique, yeah.
Okay. You're quite young, Maria. You obviously want to make a living out of this,
Yes.
and you want to be able to charge for your time or have the pricing, I guess, incorporate the time that you're spending. Have you ever done any spreadsheets or any sort of calculations, or is that just out of your
a little
comfort
bit
zone?
as a piece of paper. We're thinking, like if customer come, okay, we're thinking, okay, what your budget? Okay, what material I have? Okay.
We charge less for our time just so that the customer can be happy.
But the problem is you're doing yourself a disservice,
that's right,
and you're running it for effectively your time's free, which is not what we want. So in terms of what we want to do, it sounds to me, and this is what I'm hearing, you really want to focus on this bespoke design market. But in terms of trying to make money, I guess we have to focus. We can't sort of do everything and have just this open design book for when people necessarily come to you, because otherwise, as you say, you're not charging all for your time. Do you have, as part of your collection, and I saw you had the beautiful, you know, the hand sort of crocheted, or the hand, you know, look, the lace, which was in the magazine you showed me, Maria. How many collections then can you do a year if you were to design them?
If everything go well, 3, 4.
So you can do 3-4 collections, and how many garments in a collection?
Like 10, 15.
You know, you want to have a look, perhaps think about just focusing on collections and how many you can fit into a year, and then that could be what you put in your boutique. And then sell to the public. So it's still all the handmade stuff, it's got very much your element, but it's something we need to think about, because we want to very much narrow your product, because if you've got too much going on, you don't know where to focus your time, and you just end up doing a terrible job at everything rather than a great job at what you're really good at.
I'm already happy to hear that. You say what I like.
So what we need to do, I think, from here, from a financial point of view, is have a think about, you know, the cost per dress, how much it actually costs to make a dress, and we have to quantify your time into it. And then, you know, the fabric, we need to think about how much that's costing. And then we need to look at the pricing point. Is that right? Are we too cheap? Are we too expensive? If we reduce the prices, can we make more? You know, can we sell more, but, you know, we reduce the quality? There's sort of different levers we need to look at and have a think about. But let's focus and tailor it so we're not everywhere, because that's where you're going to get into trouble.
Okay, this may be why we're in trouble.
So I think, next time we catch up, I'd love it if you could come into my office and sit down and meet with me and some of my team, and we can workshop with you, I guess, putting together a business plan where we look at the numerical side of how we can actually start making a profit and, you know, look forward and forecast into the future.
That sounds great.
Thank you. Wonderful. I can't wait.
Oh, good.
Now, Sheridan is going to be following MTTC over the next couple of weeks to get them up and running. Taryn, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. And remember, if you're looking for great business tips or the latest business news, then join our small business community. You can find us online at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au or follow Kochie's Biz on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta and Twitter. I'll see you the same time next week. Next week, Monica Meldrum, the mum taking on the snack food giants, joins me as co-host. Holly Ransom drops into Tiny Bear Distillery to disrupt the status quo, and Tracy Sheen reveals how virtual summits can help you grow your client list.